ELD with Brainstorm MTG back with some more legacy action, this time from Scholars Games. And we have Elliot on Goblins versus Jeff. Wasn't sure what he was playing. It actually looks like some type of Turbo Depths pile. And he's leading out with a Thoughtseize against that Goblin Lackey. Going to hope to mitigate some of the damage. And he's going to take a Warren Instigator there. Interesting choice for the Thoughtseize. Perhaps indicating that he has some removal. And it looks like a black-green fast land was actually the land there, not a Bayou, interestingly enough. Jiki coming in off of that Goblin Lackey trigger. And that can actually do some really cool things. A Lotus Petal with Expedition Map. During the end step, he can actually make a copy of the Goblin Lackey. And that will stick around for his attack step going away on the following end step. So he's actually going to really be able to unload his hand here if he does have more goblins. Particularly powerful when you have effects like Goblin Matron. That would be a very, very good card for Elliot to draw. Jiki would be able to continually reuse that Enter the Battlefield ability. Instead, Elliot has just assembled a team here of Goblin War Chief and Gem Palm Incinerator. Not typically used to turn sideways, but I think at this point he understands what he is facing, and a 2020 Merit Lage is not going to be able to be handled by Gem Palm Incinerator no matter how many goblins are on board, because it is in fact indestructible. And it looks like a Verdant Catacombs as well. Starfire just adding to the damage. Here he's going to be hoping for any type of land, or any type of goblin, anything other than a land, or Aether Vial. Now he could copy his War Chief to decrease the costs of all of his goblins, and here he's got swinging in to near lethal. Wasteland actually is a pretty reasonable draw, even though it is a land. That's going to stop any type of Dark Depth shenanigans. And instead he's actually just bottlenecking the mana. That should do it. Looks like without Urborg, not a lot of options. Pretty scary situation though in terms of the power level of Jeff's deck. He did have Vampire Hexmage in hand. So if it were not for that Wasteland, we would have been able to see a 20-20. In this instance, it would not have been enough, as he would have been able to swarm around with all of those goblins. But it does not take a lot from these black-green Depths decks to actually make that Merit Lage token. For those of you who are not familiar with this, a lot of the time these lists are running Vampire Hexmage with Urborg, allowing you to tap your Dark Depths for black mana to cast your Vampire Hexmage, so that can be a very easy turn 2 play. It does have a lot of tutoring as well. You have access to cards like Crop Rotation and Expedition Map, so it really is all in on that 2020 Merit Lage token. It's actually a Shadowmoor card as well. I'm spacing on the name. Let me know in the comments below if you can remember it yourself. But it essentially drains your opponent for an amount equal to the creature's. It's either power or toughness. Either way, it just straight up murks your opponent without needing an attack step, speeding the deck up a little bit. And Not of This World is actually used as a counterspell to protect the Merit Lage as a 7 casting cost counter that is free if the ability it's countering is targeting a, I think it's actually a permanent with mana cost 7 or more. Power toughness. Yeah, it has to be power toughness. The Merit Lage definitely has 0 casting cost. Reason to doubt. There you go. Rarely played cards, but that's the awesome thing about Legacy, is there are all of these kind of niche cards that can find their way into these really unique decks that are just a little bit off of these mainstream builds. So you take a look at traditional lands versus this black-green list. Even though they do share so many cards, they are radically different in terms of speed and how they play. Chalice of the Void on Elliot's side. We'll see if the rest of those cards are also worth keeping. Chalice not really at its strongest in this matchup. The nice thing about Chalice in the Goblins list is it does run Cavern of Souls, which can allow it to just play straight through a Vial at any number, or a Chalice at any number, even when it's your own. He does, in fact, have that Cavern along with a Wasteland. And he's got Kiki Jiki and Goblin Pile Driver being put in the bin. So we'll see if this ends up going long or not. Elliot's hand definitely not very threatening. And Thespian Stage. Like Blooming Marsh, I think. This is the black-green fast land there. Bayou, almost certainly better. I believe that would be for budgetary reasons. But there are occasionally reasons why fast lands or non-duals could be preferable. Wasteland from Elliot, and this is not looking like the type of game plan that Goblins wants to impose. Wasteland is going to be able to keep Jeff honest here, and that it's going to be very difficult to assemble the Dark Depths combo with Thespian Stage. You'll essentially need multiple ways to create a Dark Depths token. A crop rotation can certainly help. Be able to crop rotate out the target of the Wasteland. Definitely need to be patient here. And Warren Instigator finds Abrupt Decay. So Elliot almost got some traction going there, but Abrupt Decay quickly puts an end to that, and it looks like Jeff has drawn another Abrupt Decay. Likely do the same. Warren Instigator can pull a lot of weight in this type of deck. Double Strike, putting in multiple Goblins, and responding in between those, it can be very, very powerful. So in between the first strike and the regular damage, you can do tricks with cards like Goblin, Ringleader, or Matron, and get better cards into your hand. And Jeff using Abrupt Decay on that Chalice of the Void, which is interesting, as he could just play Abrupt Decay on another target, even with the Chalice in play at 2. Cavern of Souls, and what a long slog this has been for Elliot. He's actually up to 6 mana with Goblins. He's continually making land drops, while Jeff has been puttering out here at just 3 lands with that Lotus Petal. He does have some Elvish Spirit Guides in hand, and that crop rotation. And it looks like he's going to go for a Sylvan Scrying. Elliot with 2 Wastelands on board, one of them tapped. Jeff may feel like it is time to try and bait a Wasteland activation. Got the Dark Depths. If Elliot is patient here, it could definitely work out for him. It is very unusual to see those counters being removed by activating the ability on Dark Depths. It does happen, but you would not expect that in a typical game versus Goblins. Usually they're able to apply a lot more pressure. Here, very atypical. Kiki Jiki doesn't even have any Goblins to copy. Oh, and there we have Earwig Squad. So Elliot valuing the Prowl effect more so than casting Earwig and getting a copy of it. So he's passing on a little bit of damage in the short term. And this is a bit problematic for Jeff. It's going to give Elliot a really clear picture of what lines he needs to be taking. One of the nice things about these somewhat rogue decks is it's difficult for your opponents to know exactly what you're on. Looks like he's just going to try and bait here. And I do not see this ending well. Wasteland targeting that Dark Depths. Does look like Jeff's flinching first is not going to work out. He is going to crop rotate. And it looks like he actually sacrificed one of his dual lands there. Yet another Dark Depths. Definitely not ideal. He could have sacrificed his own Dark Depths there. At this point, he is essentially down a land for no particular reason. Looks like Jeff really wanted to make sure that there was going to be a target for his crop rotation, or a card defined with crop rotation. Now, if he had enough mana, it could have conceivably been the play to go get another Thespian stage and copy Dark Depths with the other Thespian stage. It looks like 10 damage coming in off of the 2 Earwig squads. Pendlehaven coming down for Elliot. Not going to interact with his board here, but it has been very good for him, particularly in keeping those Goblin lackeys alive. And it looks like this is just going to do it right here. So Jeff with his back up against the wall. And that is the end of that round. So Goblins beating a combo deck, albeit an unconventional one. And that is the end of the round. Elliot continuing to move forward with his army of red men. All right. We'll see you for the next one. You made it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you want to help the channel, you can click like or subscribe, or you can check out some of our other videos covering Magic's most powerful formats. Thanks for watching.